To save my family, which was on the verge of bankruptcy, I married Marcus, a scion of the city's elite. Everyone said that Marcus harbored a deep love for a deceased one that got away named Chloe, and I, Grace, was merely a cheap replacement. Married into the Hayes family because I bore a 7/10 resemblance to her. On our wedding night, a prenuptial agreement landed on my face. Marcus's voice was icy. Sign it. Don't get any ideas. I didn't look up. I just picked up the pen and signed. Fine, I decided. I'm embracing the role of a trophy wife in a powerful family, devoid of emotion. But the moment he turned his back, a completely different voice echoed in my head. My wife's waist is so slender, her legs so long. She looks incredibly sexy in that wedding dress. I really want to pin her to the bed and claim her right now. Hold it in, Marcus, you beast. Must maintain the aloof facade. First, reel her in. Make her fall in love with you. Then we'll talk. Me? Dude. Who are you? Did you get the wrong script? The agreement is signed from today on. You are Mrs. Grace. Marcus's voice was chilling, making me uneasy. Dressed in a bespoke black suit, he was tall and handsome, his face known as the most sought-after bachelor in the city's elite filled with aloofness and impatience. I lowered my gaze. Looking at the agreement on the coffee table, the terms were brutal. Maintain a facade of a loving couple to satisfy the elders. No interference in each other's private lives. No emotional involvement. After 2 years, we divorce, and I get a mansion and $50 million. This was an arrangement. 2 years of my youth in exchange for my family's survival. I picked up the pen, signed Grace, and then looked up, flashing him the most polite, submissive smile. Got it. Honey, the word rolled off my tongue easily. It was just a designation, after all. Marcus's body stiffened when he heard the word honey. His eyes changed. He didn't look at me again, turning towards the bathroom, merely throwing over his shoulder. I'll sleep in the guest room. My heart bloomed with joy. Perfect. An oversized king bed all to myself, a dream life. But the moment he closed the bathroom door, a buzzing sound erupted in my mind, followed by a voice that boomed like thunder. Damn it. She called me honey. She actually did it. Her voice is so sweet, so soft and gentle. It makes my bones melt. I badly want to grab her, pin her against the wall, and make her cry and gasp, whimpering honey hundreds of times again. I sprang from the sofa in fright, my heart pounding. There was no one else in this mansion's master bedroom but me. Where was that voice coming from? A hallucination? Was I under too much stress lately, on the verge of a breakdown? I patted my face, trying to calm myself down. As soon as the shower started, the voice returned. Is my wife scared being out there alone? Her skin is so fair. When she signed the agreement, I saw her fingertips were pink, like ripe peaches. They must feel incredibly soft to the touch. No, I can't think about it anymore. If I do, I'll have to take care of myself tonight. Marcus, get a grip, for crying out loud. I, petrified, cracking, utterly disoriented. I was 100% certain this wasn't a hallucination. That voice, that tone, that content. It was Marcus's, but he hadn't said a word. How could I hear what he was thinking? And his inner thoughts were so explicit. It was a complete contrast to his stoic, aloof, and unapproachable face. Clutching a throw pillow, I huddled in the corner of the sofa, feeling my 20-year-old worldview falling apart. So had I awakened some strange superpower? Could I hear other people's inner thoughts? Or was it just this beast in gentleman's clothing, Marcus's? Marcus emerged from the bathroom, a towel loosely wrapped around his waist. Water droplets trickled down his 8-pack abs, disappearing into his V-line abs. The air was thick with his potent masculine scent. I swallowed hard. I had to admit, the man's physique was truly top tier. He glanced at me, his gaze as cold as if he were looking at furniture, then turned and walked towards the walk-in closet. My wife is looking at me. She must be captivated by my physique. She even swallowed hard. Hey Emph, she has good taste. She doesn't even realize whose body this is, for these abs. How many business dinners I skipped. I really want to go over there right now, take her hand, and let her touch them. No, I have to resist. Must maintain the aloof facade. My face instantly flushed crimson. I nearly stared a hole through the sofa pattern. Who wants to touch your abs? Narcissist. Pervert. Soon, he came out dressed in silk pajamas, carrying a pillow, actually heading for the guest room. As he passed me, he stopped, looking down at me condescendingly, and warned in his emotionless tone, remember your place, and don't forget the agreement. His inner thoughts made me dizzy, so I could only nod stiffly. I understand. My wife smells so good. She has a sweet, delicate scent that makes me want to commit a crime. So close. Her lips look incredibly soft, plump, like jelly. They must taste sweet to kiss. I really want to taste. No, Marcus, you beast. You agreed to play the aloof role. You can't scare off your wife. He seemed quite satisfied with my obedience, turned and left, closing the master bedroom door. The door clicked shut, and I clearly heard a heavy sigh of relief in his mind. That was close. I almost couldn't hold back. My wife is too adorable, like a startled little bunny, with glistening eyes that make me want to bully her mercilessly. I collapsed onto the sofa, feeling utterly drained. Living with an outwardly aloof man whose inner monologue was explicit enough to circle the globe 3 times, my future looked grim. The next morning, I descended the stairs, sporting dark circles under my eyes, Marcus was already seated at the dining table, fully dressed. A cup of coffee in one hand, a newspaper in the other, exuding a stay-away aura of asceticism. James pulled out a chair for me. "Good morning, madam, good morning." I sat down, listlessly picking up a piece of toast, which tasted tasteless. Marcus peered over his newspaper, glancing at me. "Didn't sleep well last night?" Before I could answer, his internal monologue went wild. "She has dark circles under her eyes. Is it because she missed me so much she couldn't sleep? It must be." I knew my wife had feelings for me too. She also couldn't sleep because we were in separate rooms, but she looks adorable even like this. A little haggard, pitiful and vulnerable, which makes my heart ache. I really want to hold her close and cherish her. Cough, cough, cough. "I nearly choked on my milk, madam. Are you all right?" James quickly offered a tissue. I'm fine. I waved my hand, glaring fiercely at the culprit opposite me. It was all his fault. Marcus lowered his newspaper, frowned at me, his tone slightly chiding. "How can you be so careless?" But what he was thinking was, her little face is flushed from coughing, her eyes watery. "She looks even easier to bully now. I really want to pin her onto the dining table. Take her from behind, feeding her milk while exerting myself. Watching her cry and beg would be so stimulating." My hand trembled, and my knife and fork clattered onto the plate. I couldn't eat this meal. I abruptly stood up, blurted "I'm full," and fled upstairs as if escaping. Behind me, Marcus's confused inner thoughts echoed. What happened? Did I upset her again? A woman's heart is a mystery. Never mind, I'll have Tom go and buy out the luxury designer floor at a high-end department store later, get her some gifts to appease her. I hid in my room, my heart pounding furiously. This man was simply a walking projector of R-rated thoughts. To avoid hearing more unbearable inner thoughts, I decided to lock myself in the room for the entire day. In the afternoon, James knocked on the door, saying that Mr. Marcus had sent many things and the living room was almost overflowing. I opened the door, stunned by the sight before me. The living room was indeed piled high with shopping bags. Hermes, Chanel, Dior, Gucci, offering everything from bags, clothes, shoes, jewelry, all the latest collections, and several limited edition items too. Will my wife like them? Tom picked them out. He said no woman could refuse these. If she's still not happy, I'll just have Tom buy that entire mall and put it in her name. I looked at the room full of gifts. My feelings a mix of emotions. Throwing money at problems. Truly a typical CEO's crude and direct style, however. To be fair, seeing all those shiny things did considerably brighten my mood, which had been dampened by his explicit thoughts. I chose a cherry blossom pink handbag, took a photo in the mirror, and after some thought, posted it on social media. Caption: "Thank you, honey heart emoji." No sooner had I posted it than Marcus liked it. I could almost picture Marcus in his office, seeing the post, wanting to laugh but holding back, looking like he was about to burst from suppressed emotion. My wife is publicly showing affection. She called me honey on social media. She has feelings for me. No, I need to screenshot and save this immediately. Set it as my phone wallpaper. Wait, it'll change both my lock screen and wallpaper. She's so amazing, so good at this. I need to go run 2 laps downstairs to calm down. I couldn't help but broke into a chuckle. This man was so twisted, yet kinda cute. That evening, Marcus returned. He still maintained his icy demeanor, but his steps were lighter than usual. I could sense his inner happiness. "Did you receive the gifts?" He walked over to me, pretending to ask casually, though his eyes couldn't help but dart towards me. "Yes, I did. Thank you." I nodded, deliberately jingling the diamond bracelet on my wrist. "It's beautiful. I love it. Good that you like it." He responded indifferently, his Adam's apple bobbed, then turned to go upstairs. My wife is so obedient today. Her voice is soft and sweet. I really want to pat her head. Her hair looks so soft, such good quality. It must feel amazing to touch. No, I have to restrain myself. Restraint is victory. Watching his retreating back, a mischievous thought popped into my head. He had just set one foot on the stairs when I suddenly called out, "Marcus?" He stopped, turning to look at me, his eyes holding a hint of confusion and anticipation. I rushed over to him, and while he was momentarily stunned, I stood on tiptoes and kissed him on the cheek. It was a fleeting kiss, a mere touch and then gone. Good night. Having said that, like a cat that got the cream, I quickly ran back to my room under his stunned gaze, locking the door with a bang. Marcus stood frozen, as if struck by lightning. Only after more than 10 seconds did I hear a tsunami of screams erupt in his mind. My wife kissed me. She voluntarily kissed me. She kissed my cheek. Oh my god, am I dreaming? My cheek is burning. My wife's lips were so soft and sweet. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm not washing my face tonight. No, I'm never washing this side of my face again. I'm going to enshrine it. I'm going crazy. I want to rush in and claim her right now. Claim her fiercely. Make her cry and beg. I leaned against the door, listening to his internal roar, shaking with laughter, tears almost streaming down my face. It turned out teasing this cold on the outside, wild on the inside CEO was so entertaining. The next day was the weekend, and we were heading to the Hayes family estate. To perfectly play the part of a demure and virtuous daughter-in-law, I deliberately chose an off-white dress, applied light makeup, making myself appear harmless and innocent. When came downstairs and saw me, his eyes widened noticeably. My wife is so beautiful today, like a fairy. This dress is really pretty, with a slender waist and long legs, but is the neckline a bit too low? No, I can't let her attract other men outside. I need to find a way to make her cover up. He walked over to me, casually draped a cashmere shawl over my shoulders, and said in a mild tone, "It's windy outside. Don't catch a cold eye." It was midsummer, 38 degrees Celsius outside. Where was this wind coming from? Suppressing a smile, I nodded obediently. "Okay, thank you, honey." My wife is too obedient. What do I do? It just makes me want to tease her more. The family estate was on the exclusive hills outside the city, a grand estate with classic architecture, featuring gardens and pavilions. Its antique grandeur exuded the confidence of a top-tier powerful family. When we arrived, all the Hayes family elders were already there. At the head of the table sat Grandma, Marcus's grandmother, a graceful but sharp-eyed old woman who was the current matriarch of the Hayes family. Marcus's parents, uncles, aunts, and cousins filled the living room. As we entered, everyone's gaze, like spotlights, fell uniformly on me, filled with scrutiny and thinly veiled disdain. "This must be Grace." Grandma spoke, her voice calm yet exuded authority. "Hello, Grandma. Hello, Uncle. Aunt." I suppressed her nervousness and forced a polite smile, greeting each of them. "Catherine, Marcus's mother, a socialite." Her eyes raked over me like knives. Then she spoke with a sarcastic tone. "Don't tell me." Her eyes, indeed, resemble Chloe's from back then. The moment the name Chloe was uttered, the living room's atmosphere instantly turned cold. Everyone knew I was just a stand-in. That remark was meant to remind me of my place. My nails dug into my flesh, and the smile on my face felt stiff and unnatural. Just then, a warm hand clasped my cold one. It was Marcus. His expression remained normal, as if he hadn't heard his mother's words, but his inner thoughts roared in my mind like an enraged lion. "Damn it. How dare you give my wife that look? If you wear it, my mother, it'd bankrupt your favorite luxury brand tomorrow. Don't be afraid, honey. Your husband is here. Anyone who dares bully you, I'll send their entire family to do menial labor in Africa." Hearing his dominant yet childish inner thoughts, the humiliation and grievance in my heart vanished, and I even felt a slight urge to laugh. I subtly squeezed his palm back, giving him a reassuring look. Marcus's body visibly stiffened, and his internal monologue took an abrupt turn. My wife smiled at me. Is she comforting me? Her little hand is so soft. I want to hold it like this forever. We're holding hands, so the next step is a kiss, right? And after that, dude, read the room, okay? This is a family power struggle, not his X-rated fantasy. All right, everyone, stop standing around and sit down. Grandma spoke, breaking the tension. Marcus and I sat down, but the trouble wasn't over. A girl dressed provocatively came over. It was Brooke, Marcus's cousin, sister-in-law. She affectionately linked her arm through mine, but her words were like poison needles. "I heard your family used to run a big business. How did it fall so far that you had to sell your daughter to pay off debts?" The moment she said that, everyone's expressions changed. My father's company had indeed faced a financial crisis, which was why I had to accept an arranged marriage. It was a thorn in my side. My face instantly paled, unable to utter a single word in defense. "Brooke." Marcus's voice turned cold, like an ice blade. "Apologize to your sister-in-law." "Damn you, Brooke, is your mouth so foul because you just climbed out of a septic tank? How dare you humiliate my wife? You must have a death wish. Just wait, I'll immediately arrange a blind date for you in an African tribe, so you can marry into a remote tribe." Brooke was intimidated by Marcus's intimidating aura. She recoiled, grumbled reluctantly, "Sorry, sister-in-law, I was just joking. Don't take it seriously." I forced a smile. "It's fine." During the meal, I felt like I was sitting on pins and needles. The family looked at me as if I were a commodity, a mere replacement for Chloe. Only subtly protected me throughout, serving me food, deflecting toasts, and countering all overt attacks and subtle jabs, though he remained cold on the surface, like an iceberg. His roaring inner thoughts, "Don't be afraid, honey. I'll kill him," flowed like a warm current, thawing my cold heart. On the way home, the atmosphere in the car was stifling. I leaned against the car window, watching the streetlights rush by outside, my heart filled with a mix of emotions. "Don't dwell on what happened today," Marcus suddenly said. "I'm not." I shook my head. I understood my place as a replacement. I couldn't have emotions. I couldn't have expectations. "She's definitely still unhappy. Her voice sounds muffled. It's all my fault for not protecting her. Those idiots. One day I'll make them line up and kneel, begging my wife for forgiveness." His inner thoughts were full of curses, yet his tone was flat. "My family is just like that. You don't need to pay them any mind." I turned my head, looking at his profile, outlined by the streetlights. After a long hesitation, I finally asked the question on my mind. "You're one that got away, Chloe. What kind of person was she?" The moment the words left my mouth, I regretted it. The air instantly froze in the car. I saw his hand tightened on the steering wheel, veins bulging on the back of his hand. His inner thoughts, for the first time, weren't perverted thoughts and roaring anger. Instead, they were filled with confusion and pain. Why is she asking about Chloe? What should I say? Should I tell her the truth? No. If I tell her, she'll definitely leave me. I'm sorry, honey. I'm sorry. I lied to you. My heart sank abruptly. Lied to me? What did he mean? Was the one that got away fake? This thought made my mind go blank. If the one that got away was fake, then what was I, the stand-in, supposed to be? He went to great lengths, tying me to him with a lie. What for? She. Marcus's face was pale. He was silent for a long time before squeezing out a few words from his throat, his voice hoarse. She has passed away. I'm sorry, I lied again. What am I even doing? One lie that I have to cover up with countless lies. Honey, please don't ever discover the truth. I beg you. Otherwise, you'll definitely think I'm a complete lunatic and pervert. Watching his tormented expression, a storm of emotions surged within me. One mystery after another slammed into me, leaving me breathless. How many secrets was this man hiding? Was the woman named Chloe truly alive or dead? Back at the mansion, Marcus went straight to his study without a word. I could sense he was in great pain and struggling deeply. His inner thoughts came intermittently, no longer R-rated thoughts, but filled with remorse and despair. What should I do? What on earth should I do? If she knew the truth, she would hate me to death. She would definitely leave me, but I truly love her. From the first moment I saw her 3 years ago, I fell in love with her. I don't dare to tell her. I'm afraid she'll think I'm a pervert, a stalker, a lunatic who uses despicable means. I sat on the cold living room floor, hugging my knees, my mind a jumbled mess. He loved me, fell in love at first sight 3 years ago? How was that possible? Before our marriage, we'd only met a few times at banquets, barely exchanging words. 3 years ago, I desperately searched through my confused memories. 3 years ago, I was still a college student, and my dad's company was still doing well. Once, I accompanied my dad to a cocktail party. On my way back from the restroom, I bumped into a drunk, creepy man. The man, emboldened by alcohol, tried to make a move on me, just as I screamed and struggled. A tall figure suddenly appeared and kicked the creepy man away. Then, he took off his suit jacket, covered me with it, and left without a word. The hallway lights were dim at the time, so I didn't get a clear look at his face, but I remembered a pleasant, cool scent of cedar and tobacco on him. It was exactly the same scent as Marcus's. Could it be? Could that person have been him? My heart pounded, and a bold theory formed in my mind. I abruptly stood up from the floor and ran barefoot to the study door, knocking frantically on the door. Marcus, open the door. Open the door for me. The door quickly opened. Marcus stood at the doorway, his red-rimmed eyes, haggard expression, and a faint stubble on his chin, looking disheveled and vulnerable. What's wrong? He asked hoarsely, his eyes filled with panic. I stared intently into his eyes, asking word by word. 3 years ago, at the Hilton banquet. The person who saved me from a drunk man, was that you? Marcus's body jolted, his pupils contracted, and the color drained from his face. His inner thoughts, like a surging flood, instantly overwhelmed me. She remembers. She actually remembers. How could she have remembered? What do I do? What do I do? Should I admit it? If I admit it, will she think I've been secretly watching her, investigating her, like a pervert hiding in the shadows since then? She'll definitely be utterly disgusted by me. Seeing his world had collapsed, I already had my answer. So, our connection had begun much earlier than I thought, so he wasn't not interested in women. He was just a beast only for me, so the so-called stand-in for the one that got away was merely a clumsy excuse he fabricated to marry me. A corner of my heart suddenly became incredibly soft, and a wave of tenderness washed over me. Why didn't you tell me? I asked, my voice trembling slightly. Marcus lowered his eyes, like a child who had done wrong and was awaiting judgment, his voice barely a whisper. I was afraid I'd scare you. I was afraid you'd know how vile I am. I thought about you every day, to the point of going crazy, day and night, even in my dreams. I could only use such despicable means to forcibly tie you to my side. Listening to his humble yet passionate inner thoughts, my eyes also turned red. This fool, this man, who was aloof and superior in the eyes of the outside world, was so insecure when facing me. I took a deep breath, suppressing all emotions, then stood on tiptoes and passionately kissed him. This time, it was no longer a fleeting kiss. Marcus's body froze completely, like a statue encased in ice. Even his internal monologue stopped. The world fell silent. I was a little nervous, so I instinctively and clumsily traced the shape of his lips. Just as I was about to pull away because he had no reaction, he suddenly took control. An arm clamped fiercely around the back of my head, while his other arm tightened around my waist, responding with a frenzied intensity. The kiss was filled with desire suppressed for 3 years, the ecstasy of getting me back, and a possessiveness that could shatter worlds. His inner thoughts exploded in my mind again, more surging than ever before. My wife kissed me. My wife kissed me voluntarily. Her lips are so soft, so sweet, 1,000 times more delightful than I imagined. I'm going to be completely consumed by her kiss. I want her. I want her now. I'll make love to her fiercely, make her entirely my own. His kiss left me dizzy and weak-kneed. The world spun. He scooped me up in his arms, strode towards the master bedroom, and kicked open the door to the room he had never entered. He placed me gently on the soft bed, then loomed over me, his eyes burned with fire, as if to devour me. Honey, his voice was hoarse beyond recognition. I love you. I love you so much I would go to hell for you. Honey, give yourself to me, okay? Watching his deep and fervent eyes, listening to his passionate yet humble inner thoughts, I impulsively reached out and wrapped my arms around his neck. The next morning, when I woke up, I felt like I had been hit by a truck, aching all over, feeling like my bones were scattered. Meanwhile, the culprit was contentedly holding me from behind, sleeping soundly. On his face, there was even a triumphant smile. My wife is truly delightful. I want to eat her every day. My wife was so passive last night. Her soft cries sounded like a kitten, which made my heart tremble. She left so many red marks on my body. They're proof of her love. Truly wonderful. Can't wash. Have to keep it as a memento. Beast. Pervert. Enduring the sharp pain in my waist, I gathered all my strength and kicked him off the bed. Get out. With a thud, Marcus fell onto the carpet, opening his eyes with a blank expression as he looked at me. Honey, what's wrong? So much fire first thing in the morning? So energetic first thing in the morning? It seems I didn't try hard enough last night. Tonight I'll redouble efforts. I must ensure she has no energy left to scold me tomorrow morning. I grabbed the pillow from the bed and furiously threw it at his innocent yet punchable face. Marcus, you beast. Get out. Instead of rolling off, Marcus, grinning cheekily, climbed back onto the bed. Ray embraced me from behind and buried his face in my neck, rubbing against me like a big dog. Honey, I was wrong. His voice was aggrieved and coaxing. How about I give you a massage? I specifically learned. My technique is very good. I'll touch my wife all over, then get her aroused and have another morning workout. He infuriated me to the point where I couldn't say a word besides irritated thoughts. Could this man's mind hold anything else? With all misunderstandings resolved, our relationship advanced by leaps and bounds. Marcus no longer slept in the guest room. Every night, he clung to me like a human koala. He no longer concealed his feelings either. Although still icy on the surface, his endless, over-the-top compliments in his mind praised me from head to toe. My wife's dress today is so beautiful. And her great behind. I really want to pat it from behind. My wife's cooking is so delicious. 10,000 times better than a Michelin-starred chef's. I want to eat her too. My wife is so serious and charming when she works. I want to pin her down on the office desk. Every day, I lived under the barrage of his sweet nothings and lustful remarks, experiencing sweet suffering. I thought our life would continue to be this sweet until the Chloe I thought was a lie actually appeared. It was a very ordinary afternoon. Marcus accompanied me back from my prenatal checkup. A woman in a white dress, long hair cascading over her shoulders, with delicate features, suddenly rushed to their car, blocking their way. She and I were strikingly similar. Marcus, the woman, tear-eyed, tapped on the car window. Marcus's face instantly turned cold, and I clearly heard the curses in his mind. Damn it. How is she back? That pest that won't go away. Don't scare my wife. He turned to me, his tone nervous. Honey, don't misunderstand. I have nothing to do with her. I'll have the bodyguards remove her right away. Watching his nervous expression, and then the pitiful, vulnerable woman outside the car window, I felt no panic. Instead, an amused anticipation of drama arose within me. I pressed down on his hand as he was about to make a call, smiling faintly at him. Don't rush, honey. Let's go down and see. She's a helpless woman. It's quite pitiful. My wife is so generous, so kind. She's truly the woman I chose. But this manipulative woman definitely has ill intentions. I must protect my wife and not let her suffer any slight. Marcus got out of the car, and the woman named Chloe immediately rushed to hug him. But he dodged her with a look of disgust. Marcus, I'm back. I returned after seeking treatment abroad. Chloe cried. I missed you so much. Ms. Chloe, Marcus's voice was chillingly cold. We are not familiar with each other. Please move aside and don't block my wife's path. Only then did Chloe see me in the car. Her face paled. Then she instantly put on a tearful expression. Is this Mrs. Grace? You. Hello, my name is Chloe. And Marcus and I grew up together. I pushed open the car door, walked to Marcus's side, intimately linked my arm through his, and smiled sweetly at him. Honey, who is this? Marcus immediately cooperated, putting his arm around my waist, his voice so gentle it could drip with tenderness. An unimportant person, honey. Let's go home. Don't mind her. My wife linked her arm through mine and smiled at me. Is she asserting her dominance? So cute. I want to pin her onto the car hood and kiss her right now. Listening to his inner thoughts, my cheeks burned, but I managed to keep my composure. I looked at Chloe's face, contorted by jealousy, and deliberately patted my slightly rising baby bump, smiling harmlessly and innocently. Hello, Ms. Chloe. I'm so sorry. I've just become pregnant, and the doctor said I need a lot of rest, so we have to leave first. Pregnant? Chloe's scream pierced the sky. Seeing her distraught expression, I walked away with Marcus, leaving her behind. My wife did great. So cool. That fighting power. She's truly Marcus's woman. I must reward her well when we get back. With my body. This man's thought process was always so peculiar. I thought Chloe would retreat after being thwarted once, but I didn't expect she had someone backing her. A few days later, at an important business gala, Chloe actually appeared as the female companion of Marcus's arch-rival. Richard, CEO of the Lee, Mr. Marcus, Mrs. Grace, long time no see, Richard said, his arm around Chloe's waist, smiling mischievously. Chloe, clinging to him affectionately, looked at Marcus with eyes full of provocation and a sense of absolute triumph. Marcus's face darkened. Richard, that idiot, actually brought this bomb here. It looks like he wants to vex me with Chloe and disturb my focus, so he can play dirty tricks at the bid presentation. Dream on. My heart belongs only to my wife. This level of manipulative woman isn't even fit to carry my wife's shoes. I squeezed his palm, signaling him to relax. Halfway through the banquet, Chloe suddenly spoke on stage, in front of all the media and guests. She tearfully recounted her moving story with Marcus, childhood sweethearts, forced apart, now reunited only to find everything changed. Immediately, all eyes fixed on me, filled with sympathy, disdain, and schadenfreude. I became the wicked second female lead who broke up a loving couple. Marcus was so enraged he was about to rush up, but I held him back. Don't rush. I shook my head at him. I picked up the microphone and walked slowly onto the stage, meeting everyone's gaze. I didn't cry or make a scene. I simply looked at Chloe calmly, smiling as I asked her 3 questions. Ms. Chloe, you claim you and Marcus were childhood sweethearts. But do you know what he likes and dislikes most to eat? You say you were forced apart, but do you know that for these past 3 years, he suffered from insomnia every night, only able to sleep with the help of sleeping pills? You say you love him, but do you know that 3 years ago at a banquet, he saved a girl from harassment and has never forgotten her since? Chloe was speechless, her face pale by my questions. I turned to the audience, my gaze fell on Marcus, and said in a gentle yet firm voice, I know all of this. Because I am that girl, and now, he belongs only to me. After speaking, I handed the microphone to Marcus. Marcus walked onto the stage, took the microphone, and didn't even glance at Chloe. His gaze, from beginning to end, was fixed solely on me. Every word my wife said is true. His voice, clear and powerful, resonated throughout the hall through the microphone. As for Ms. Chloe, he sneered, his eyes sharp as knives. You were colluding with outsiders, attempting to steal Hayes's trade secrets, and falsifying your identity to get close to me. All this evidence I've already handed over to the police. Mr. Williams, Ms. Chloe, may you rot in jail together. The words had barely left his lips when several police officers walked in from outside, directly taking away Richard and Chloe, whose faces were ashen. The entire hall erupted in an uproar. A melodramatic romantic entanglement instantly turned into a thrilling corporate espionage drama, and I, from being a replacement pitied by others, became the rightful lady of the house, tearing down the manipulative woman and fighting alongside my husband. Marcus dropped the microphone and, amidst the shocked gazes of the entire hall, pulled me into a fierce embrace and kissed me passionately. His inner thoughts, in my mind, were a deafening declaration. My wife is the best woman in the world. No one will ever dare to bully her. I love her. I will love her forever, and in every life after. This sensational drama finally came to an end. Marcus, for his cooperation with the police in apprehending the corporate spy, even made it to the front page of the financial news, and I became famous overnight, becoming Mrs. Grace, respected by everyone in the city's elite circles. No one dared to mention the words "the one that got away" and "replacement" in front of me again. Marcus himself dotted on me endlessly, happily following me around like glue every day, calling me honey sweeter than anyone. His inner thoughts were more explicit, more R-rated, and more profound than before. My wife's baby bump is getting more noticeable. I really want to kiss it every day. The doctor said intimacy is allowed after the 4th month of pregnancy. I'm counting down the days on my fingers. I'm so excited. What should I name our baby? Ethan? Liam? Or perhaps Noah? No, too generic. Every day, under the bombardment of his inner thoughts, I lived a sweet yet embarrassing life. Our baby was born in the spring of the 2nd year. It was a boy, who resembled him greatly, especially his eyes, which were dark and bright. Marcus, holding the tiny wrinkled baby, cried like a big baby, insisting on naming him Ethan. He said it meant admiration for Grace, for life. I leaned into his embrace, looking at the goofy man beside me, crying with snot and tears, and then at the little goofball sleeping soundly in my arms. My heart felt full to the brim. As for my superpower of hearing inner thoughts, later, I understood that it might not be a superpower at all. It was simply because I loved him enough. That's why I could penetrate his cold facade and hear the deepest, most authentic, and passionate voice in his heart, meant only for me.